Sports, of course, sad news coming in from the sporting fraternity there. The legend, Diego Maradona, passing away at the age of 60. And on that story, to help us analyze and get an understanding of the legacy that legends such as Diego Maradona leaves behind is our very own legend here in South Africa. And that's Ntate Jomo Sono. A very good morning to you, Ntate. Thank you for joining us this morning.
Good morning. How are you and the listeners?
We're very well, thank you for asking. Ntate Sono, the last time we had an interview with you, you told us that you still communicate effectively with Pele, another icon and soccer legend such as yourself. Your initial reaction when you heard the passing of Diego Maradona yesterday?
I couldn't believe that Diego, at the age of 60, has just passed on. But due to ill health, most of the time was struggling. Just came back from hospital 2 weeks ago to do a scan on his brain. And I understood, all I could say about him was that when you talk of legends, this is a real legend.
Yes. I mean,
no matter what he's done outside football, he made the world happy when he was in the field of play. When he was in the field of play, he was clean. And when he was in the field of play, he gave us joy and happiness. And he made us to love football more and more because, to me, this guy was a genius. People compare him to Messi. There was no comparison. I mean, when he scored that goal with a hand, which was made famous by the English people because of the war between England and Argentina for the Falkland Islands, they wanted to, damage the whole thing. But he came back and he scored. Immediately after scoring with the hand of God, he came back and he scored one of the best goals of the century. He went past about 6 defenders from England and he scored. And, we'll always remember Diego Maradona for that. When he went to Napoli, he was a demigod in Napoli. I've never seen a man who was respected like him at Napoli. He gave Napoli for the first time. He gave them 2 trophies on his own. He was a genius.
Yes.
He could play football as if he is playing, a piano or an orchestra. The guy was unreal, and sometimes God does his things. He brings people like Maradona once in a while on this earth to come and entertain the people. And we will dearly miss him. And we as footballers, we would like to say thank you very much, Diego, for what you've done for football. We don't look at what you did outside football because every human being, especially we footballers, we're not infallible. We have our weaknesses. Sometimes we can't handle the fame. Sometimes if we can't handle, we believe we must take substances that can help us, not knowing that those substances are going to destroy our lives or our careers.
Yes.
But we don't dwell on that. We dwell on his football. His football was the best. It's him. It was Pelé and him, Johan Cruyff, Messi and Ronaldo.
And I like that you allude to, his life off pitch. Of course, you've given us a beautiful tribute of his talents on pitch. Of course, he was not infallible. And do you think perhaps some of those, controversial life choices that he made off pitch is what really endeared him once again to his fans? Because perhaps they could see themselves in him to know that, he's also human, he's not perfect. And perhaps that contributed to the icon that he was.
Yeah, there's some of the players cannot take the pressure. If you look at him, he couldn't walk in the streets in Napoli. He couldn't walk in the streets in Argentina. He only started walking now. He had to have security all the way, and the pressure was too much. And during Napoli's time, there were issues of the mafia controlling the game, controlling his life. because he to me, he was like really a demigod, and sometimes it happens even in Africa here. If you look at his background, where he comes from, Maradona is from a very, very, very poor family. And sometimes you find some of these players never went to school. And then when they become superstars at the age of 15, at the age of 15, he was a superstar. And they get all these monies and they get all these accolades on them. They cannot handle it. They can't, because it's too much money too soon and too quick. And sometimes it breaks these players.
Yes.
So you need a level-headed person to know all the time where you come from, what you want in life. Maradona got into that, and it has happened to a few players. I just hope that it can be a lesson to some of the players that too much money too quick and too early, and the fame can destroy your career.
And you really have led me to what was going to be my next question, and Tate Sono, to say, when we see...
You're cutting down now,
can you hear me now? Ntate, I was saying you really have taken me to my next question that I wanted to ask, that when we hear or learn of the passing of an iconic soccer legend such as Diego Maradona, we always want to reflect on what lessons we can draw from his life. We take a look at the youngsters of today that we see whose careers are just starting off. We hear of the fast life, their life off pitch and their life on pitch, and how sometimes those two can conflate each other and affect them in terms of discipline and finances and stuff like that. And I think you've touched a bit on that. But what can be the overall lesson that we can draw from his life?
Yeah, there are lessons we can draw from Diego's life. In the football pitch, you can't fault him. He was the greatest.
Of course.
The greatest in the football pitch. But outside the pitch, his life was more of a mess, and I think he couldn't take the fame and the pressure of this game, because this game sometimes does bring a lot of pressure, because fans want to win. I mean, I can give you one example. One guy from Colombo, he scored an own goal for Colombo. He got into, when he went home, he was stabbed and killed. South Americans, they're not like South Africans. South Americans are crazy about the sport. So maybe that also contributed to him being banned for 2 years by FIFA for taking cocaine. He was involved in all sorts of things. But I would like to celebrate Maradona, the footballer.
Yes.
I wouldn't like to dwell on Maradona off the field, because I would say Diego was a footballer. Maradona was outside football. So I wanted to celebrate Diego and not celebrate Maradona. So all I can say is that thank you very much, Diego, for giving football what it deserves. You're the greatest. May your soul rest in peace.
And rightfully so, Tate Sono. I mean, one didn't need to be a soccer fan to celebrate.
We're getting cut. I can't hear anything anymore. Hello?
Hello, Tate Sono, can you hear me now?
Yeah.
Okay. I just wanted to say quickly as we wrap up. You're rightfully saying that the way we celebrate him, one didn't have to know or enjoy or be a fan of football to know who Diego Maradona is. I remember growing up as well. I always knew there was a Diego Maradona, not even knowing what was happening in the football fraternity, and that's what we choose to celebrate about him. But as we wrap our conversation up, and Tate Sono, your tribute to the passing of Anele Ngonga of our very own South Africa football fraternity, who passed away tragically a few days ago.
Yeah, it's a shame, at the age of 33, it's a shame that Anele lost his life at such an early age, and a promising player. And he's done well for South Africa himself, because he left South Africa unknown and he went to Belgium. And that's where he made his name. He didn't come from Sundowns, Pirates, or Chiefs, or Cosmos to go to Belgium. He came from a smaller team from Cape Town, and he went there. And when I heard about it, you know, like all footballers, you get a shock. You know, you don't. Sometimes you feel we footballers should live forever, but we can't. We're also human. And I mean, an accident is an accident. And all I can say about Anele, you know, we're proud of him. He carried the South African flag in Europe, because he played in Europe for many, many years. And, you know, it's unfortunate, these things that happened in these cars, but, you know, to be driving it so early in the morning at that time, it's a cause for concern. You know, and the only thing I would say is that the generation of now, they like to buy these speedy cars, you know, these fast cars. You know, I think if we can slow down a bit and understand that a car can kill you, an accident can kill you. And if you're coming back from wherever you come back, if you're tired, don't drive when you're tired. Get into a garage, sleep, and then leave proper in the morning. Because if you notice, even the player from Marisbeck was at the same time as well. So, you know, it was early hours of the morning. That time, the body wants to rest. The body is sleeping at that time. So I think we don't know what happened, but I think we should try and rest when you're tired. Park the car and rest.
Of course.
Because the country needs you, but Bafana needs you. You know, all I can say to Anel and his family, you know, with the best condolences, and his soul rest in peace. And the Sundowns family as well.
Yes, and Tate Jomo Sono, thank you for speaking to us and your beautiful tribute, really taking us back memory lane and tapping in to your, you know, perspective and your wisdom and, you know, the legacy of who Diego Maradona was, and what he leaves behind. Of course, we certainly appreciate your speaking to us here on Pan-African Morning. You have a good morning yourself, our very own South African legend, also known as the Black Prince of South African soccer, Mr. Jomo Sono, speaking to us there. Goodbye, sir.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much.